You'll be the first to know if you're muted again.
Yeah. We'll just be like, why is Alex not talking again?
There's there's been times where it's just like he goes silent for a second. We're like, you good?
Yeah.
I feel like he's like just like the angry kid, like, I'm fine. God, mom.
Okay, so hello and welcome to our third installment of the Ninjas of Love stream. This week we'll be discussing Chapter 10, Volume 5, and all the gayness that ensued this episode. So...
It didn't take you long to cut to the chase.
Yeah, of course. That's me.
We know what's important.
Chase. Yeah. So, does anyone want to start us off?
I did it last week. Do you want to switch it up, or
Well,
am
Alex,
I gonna...
do you want to kick it off?
My first point is kind of controversial, so I'll say that now.
Okay.
Alright.
Right,
I'll
Alex.
need to pull up my notes now.
We have 2 viewers on the stream already, and they are both Ty and Kian.
So, you told me you guys wanted to do custom games for this, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you hear me, make a random statement. It's a name, and let me know yes or no.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Alex, do you want to kick us off this week?
Well, considering Best Boy was baited on screen, I feel like it's appropriate.
Okay.
It's the whole opening thing with more talk between Oz and Crow.
Mhm.
Trying to think what kind of point I want to make.
What, do you not have it written down?
I think I accidentally
Widow
deleted my
nubs
notes halfway
only.
through.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay, do you want me to start off then?
Go ahead.
Alright, okay, Kian, you go
Alex, not prepared.
ahead. God's sake,
What do
Alex.
Basically, the bit at the start where Oz and Crow were talking, I realized that Oz can talk through Oscar for like way longer than he could just like a few episodes ago.
That's a really
And-
good point.
Yeah. So it's like
I kind of took that as, when Oscar wants to chime in, he can. I feel like Oscar has a stronger control of himself,
yeah.
but he just interjects more. I never really looked too much into that.
Yeah, it's like weird. Anyway, when they started talking about the relics and how the Haven one was at risk, I stressed out because
Because...
everything's probably gonna go to shit.
I mean, we all kind of expected that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
we all expect
Well,
it, but we don't want it to happen.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be similar. I think they're gonna make a duality between this and the Fall of Beacon, and it's gonna be the preservation of Haven, because it's a safe haven, and they're
Yeah.
gonna kind of use that as a play on words.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried. I wonder who's gonna die. Probably Ilya, because she has death flags all over her.
No, they just
True.
redeemed her. They just redeemed her. If they were to kill her
That's
next...
That's more death
That's even
flags.
bigger.
That
All
means
they-
she's gonna die.
All they have to do
IRL
is
dance
give
with Mother Russia.
all they have to do is give Ilya a nice long exposition explaining some important story aspect, and that I'm sorry, she is already dead.
You mean like
Well,
the
my
White
one was
Fang's
Shinderu.
plans? I don't like this. Okay, so my first point is about a comment that Crow makes, because he says Salem's reach, and at first I was like, what does he mean by that? So I thought it could either mean that she doesn't have control over all of the Grimm, because if she wants
Just
to
the
kill...
majority.
No, like, if she wants to kill all the huntsmen at once, she probably could, if she was able to control them all at once. Or it could mean
By
that
fear
she...
mobbing them.
Yeah, because if she's able to create and control Grimm at will, then, you know, that is, like, a lot of power. So this is, like, she needs like a certain amount of reach and influence over Grimm, then that would make a lot more sense than just, oh yeah, Salem creates the Grimm. She controls them all. So,
I found the
I'll
server
throw my-
perfect for Robin.
Hmm?
It says Trash Widows only. Okay, continue. I'm trying to find a good one.
I want to throw my hat into the ring here, saying they go on to talk about how just the slightest bit of rogue humanity or whatever. I don't remember the exact quote, and you know my wonderful note taking, but they talk about how it only takes a small part of humanity going rogue to cause a lot of damage. So part of me thinks that it's more when they talk about Salem's Reach, it's more about there's more people siding with Salem. So,
See, that was another thing that I wrote. It was either she can't control them all, or she's manipulated the
Alex went.
huntsman. Because when he says that all those huntsmen won't just bite it all at once, like maybe she somehow manipulated the huntsmen into like faking their own deaths so that they like.
I
you know what I
think
mean?
he was pointing out that it was abnormal that they would all die like that so
Yeah,
quickly
that's
together.
what I mean.
Not the fact that they would not impossibly do it. I think it's just pointing out that some outside, something
Yeah, that's
out
what I
of the
mean.
ordinary is a part of this. Oh,
That's what I mean. Oh fuck. So, oh my god.
Welcome to Mercy Boxing.
Okay, so I thought it either meant that she manipulated the huntsmen into faking their death so that they wouldn't be able to protect Haven, or
Yeah,
it
that
was
is a
she-
fair
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
My first point, the reason I say it could be controversial is because it's just kind of a thing on the story. It is. I feel like the whole beacon relic was an attempt to fill a plot hole they made with this whole relic thing. Like, how would he make it more challenging to get this relic, yet be like, oh, these other relics that are equally as important will be a lot easier to get because that makes sense. That kind of bugged me. Because
Yeah.
it felt like just a big, gaping plot hole. Just like a lack of care to be like... I feel like it would have added more stakes to be like, yes, they have this relic, it is very dangerous. We are on
Yeah.
we need to protect this. It would have added more
Oh my
urgency
God.
to the plot.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck is happening here? Ah! No! Okay.
No.
Remember
So-
I said about Welcome to Mercy's,
shit. Oh shit! Okay. This is terrifying. This is genuinely terrifying. Oh fuck! Fuck, 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 fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck.
I did this purely to hear Robin panic.
Okay. Another point that I wanted to make is about like the actual maidens themselves and the fact that like what they represent, because the Fall Maiden represents choice. So I thought that maybe that not Salem, but Cinder would be able to like what does that mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you have the power of choice? Like,
yeah.
No,
Maybe
fuck.
manipulation of choice?
That
Yeah,
that
'cause I
was
thought-
something I thought of.
yeah, because it was like, does that mean that Cinder can now, like, what is it? I'm trying to think and like res people at the same time. But like, does that mean that she will be able to take away people's like ability to choose, or does that mean that
Oh my god.
or does that mean she'd be able to take away people's ability, like manipulate it, or like take it away?
Yeah.
Or maybe like manipulate emotions. Maybe that's why Lionheart turned so cowardly. I thought you'd be the last person to turn on Oz.
See, my point about that was the fact that Lionheart is just the cowardly lion. So I felt like that was
That
like,
too. My
Yeah.
only point in that area is about Raven, but we'll get to that later.
oh yeah, I had a point about that as well. But
Oh my
To
god.
advance a little bit, so is that all we have to say about that initial first about relics and stuff?
yeah, like my whole
Is
thing
Iron
about
with
the
the
maidens
10
is just like, what does the power of, like, what is the power of the maidens? Like, what does it mean to like be able to choose? Like, what is the power of choice, and what is like,
Yeah, that's kind of vague.
yeah. So they're like, oh, you know, like, holy shit. Okay.
Oh my.
Like, so, yeah, like, what is the power of knowledge? What is the power of destruction and creation? Like, what does that mean? This kind of thing.
It is kind of good to know what it would mean to the plot.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even good, it's kind of a need, if you think about it.
Yeah, so it's just like a kind of, in case you guys might have had any ideas on what that might mean.
My only thing is, maybe she's able not to manipulate, but influence, not fully take control. Like, say, for example, I'm gonna use this, it's my example, because none of y'all are gonna be able to tonight. Maybe she's like, let's use Jean, for example, the weak-minded, feeble, not really, like, that valiant. She's able to sway opinions. Able to kind of shift perspectives a bit. And like Jean would be a perfect candidate for that. Someone who's a follower, not a leader. You see? Oh,
Yeah.
we were on enemy teams. It was me and Alex versus you and Ian.
Okay.
But another point I made about this conversation was, is Osmond's Kane just gonna turn into a Deus Ex Machina machine? Because the way he's being so cryptic about it. I feel like it's just gonna be a Deus Ex Machina at the end of the season.
Yeah, like, I thought it was quite vague about the whole, oh yeah, it's not a relic. There's other things it can do, but it's not a relic. It's like, alright, okay, so you're basically saying that your Kane can do all these things, but you're saying it really, really vague. So that basically it could just be, like, a god mod kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? So I wish they weren't so vague. Like, I get the whole fact of, like, show not tell kind of thing, but like, you don't need to be so vague about it.
Since this is emptying, let's.
Yeah. Okay.
I wish he kind of. I mean, maybe since he knows what the maidens can do, maybe if that whole choice thing, maybe he doesn't want to show all his cards because maybe they'll get manipulated, something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Let's just do a little bit of quick play.
Okay.
Because there's no good. There's all I saw in the chats were hide and seek, you move, you die. I see you move, you die, or 18 plus chill chat. There's so many of those.
So my next point was about the
anyhow.
whole Leo invites them tomorrow night, and Raven told us that they were to invite Crow like the day of the White Fang attack, but then you kind of said about the whole Blake's timeline takes place like a week prior.
Yeah, I had to explain to. This isn't down, like talking down. I had to quickly before this explain the timeline thing to Robin. So if some of our notes don't line up for that reason, that's why. It's the simple case of misunderstanding, which that's fair. I didn't exactly understand it at first either, but anyhow. So I feel like we adequately covered the whole Crow and Ozpin slash.
Yeah, I love how like we're like almost 50 minutes into the stream.
Sorry.
We're almost 50 minutes into the stream, and we have just covered like the maidens thing at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we do talk really in depth, and I feel like this will be a longer stream because this episode was not only a bit longer, but it was so fucking good. In my personal opinion, it was one of the best of the volume.
One of the best of the whole series for me, to be fairly honest. Like, I just love this entire episode.
I have to agree. I would actually have to say it might be my favorite in the whole series, just because my Belladonna. I have. Okay, I'll save my gushing for the Belladonnas when I get to the notes about Kali, but I just want to say I love them all, and they're all amazing. I don't care what anyone says, but I guess I'll start off with my next point. Let's get to the Lionheart thing, I guess. Okay. I didn't put too many things about it. I only put note one, which is Raven is very much projecting, and I think it's reinforcing my last week theory that she is going to not have it in her to kill Crow, or she is going to assist Crow, because she is talking way too much to Lionheart about that. He even calls her out. Who are you trying to prove?
Yeah, who are you trying to convince is the
See, I thought that was more of a kind of like proving my last week's point about like her secret could be to do with like her having to leave like Yang and what the true thing for that was. Because it's like, it sounds more like she's trying to convince herself that everything she's done is for the greater good. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I did what I had to do to survive, kind of thing. Like, I did what I had to do, like, for everything to work out, kind of. And it's just like the kind of, like, it just seems as if she's trying to convince herself more than anything, rather than trying to, you know, oh shit, I'm about to die. Then convince Lionheart, kind of thing. So, right, okay, and my other thing about Lionheart, just before I touch on that whole thing again, but, like, Leo says that he's done so many bad things that Crow will never be able to forgive him for. But then this whole episode's focus was about, like, forgiveness.
Yeah. I mean, Crow is, as hot-headed as he's very reasonable, and I don't see any reason why he wouldn't forgive it. He'd just be like, you are on very thin ice, do not fuck around.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Crow's that very fine line between, you're gonna betray me and I'm gonna kill you. Because you're an asset now. You're a liability to me. And the same fine line that says, I will forgive your past, for lack of a better term, sins for what you've done. Because I think he kind of is like, hey, I fucked up too. And look at all the forgiveness I've done. I left my tribe, yet my sister will still try and keep with me. My sister will still try and do all this stuff. I can still get a borderline amount of assistance from my tribe. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. See, so my whole thing was to do with, like, it's Ozpin specifically that he says won't forgive him. So
we don't know enough about Ozpin, honestly, to believe that.
See, because the whole point that I was about to make was that, like, in Volume 1, Ozpin says, oh, I've made more mistakes than any man, woman, and child on this earth. So, like, since the whole episode is about forgiveness and that focus on forgiveness, and then, like, Ozpin himself has already said that he's made so many more mistakes than, like, everyone else on this whole planet. Like, I feel like he might forgive Leo for what he's done. And, like, he might get the same kind of redemption that Ilya got. But
yeah,
I feel like Leo's gonna be the one to die. And, like, I feel like he might die to get his redemption. I'm gonna pull a quote from the last episode. We're just going to be discarded when she has no use for us. Ozpin's gonna get there, they're gonna execute them before they even attack Ozpin. That's gonna be the start of the fight. They're gonna kill Leo, they're not even gonna know he set them up at first. Well, they might know that he set them up, but they're not gonna really expect to be like, hey, you asshole, because he's gonna be dead. Like, that's my prediction. That they're gonna straight up execute his ass. They're gonna order 66 the motherfucker. He ain't gonna see it coming. Oh, but okay, so, alright, here you try to convince. Raven telling herself she did what she had to, and then further pushing my theory that let's just try to convince herself that she left Yang, like, was the best thing. Even if, like, trying to basically not feel bad about it, because she is telling herself that she did it for the greater good kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was my little theory on that.
Alex and Kian, do you have anything to put on that? Because I realized me and Robin just kind of headstrong that conversation.
Nothing except that I realized that Ironwood was the Tin Man like 10 minutes ago.
What?
You just now realized that? The Ironwood is the Tin Man.
I mean, I only realised that when I watched the episode, so...
Yeah, I remember you saying that, and I was like, is that you just noticed
it was,
that?
I turned to you and went, I had another Cubase incubator moment. You immediately knew what I meant.
Yeah. But, okay, so my next point is, like, underlined and bold. We don't even need the Huntsman to defeat Salem. All we need is Kali.
True.
I'm gonna just go through my small list of ravings for Kali right here. As soon as I can look down. Give me a hot second. I'll try and die fast.
See, but, this is why Grim Eclipse is so much easier to play while we do these things.
I can do it, I just need to read it. Deflecting bolts of the tray. Quote, do you have a better idea? She didn't hesitate, bitch. I love Kali so fucking much. They made us think she was gonna be our typical damsel in distress, but she made sure they got the fuck out of her house. She put the fear of God in her guard when she the fear of God in her God. She put the fear of God in her guard when she went at Bat Boy with that tea tray. And then I believe it's just get fucked Bat Boy.
It was
I thought it was
honestly
the dragon.
Like, it was the fact she just turns to her guard. She's like, any better ideas? It's the genuine, like, if you're not gonna do your fucking job,
I'm gonna do it.
Why did they even have guards if, like, Kali and Gira? Like,
So,
do you know what I mean? It was Kali and
in all fairness,
Gira.
their guards did get ambushed and disarmed really quickly. They had... I can kind of get why they'd be in the position they were. He just tried to solo ult me.
I know, I saw.
I have 20 health.
No, but see, the thing is, though, like, see, the guard, like, the guy guard that's behind the table with Kali, like, he gets shot in the hand.
And then
No, he gets shot in the hand, and then he falls. Like, I've watched it, and I was like, they just shoot his hand, like, there's no need for me to do that.
Ah! They shot me in the leg!
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, why are you so extra right now?
Why are you so extra?
Yeah, I was
Again,
just
my
so
whole-
confused.
It's not like a gut shot. Fucking wuss.
Yeah.
Kali's here
Gira-
picking up your gun.
Like,
I
Gira
mean,
gets stabbed
maybe
in the
he, like,
back.
Okay, fucking.
I
My note for
tried
that, by the
to-
way, Gira, Finnick Gira. Nothing personal, kid.
But, okay, right. My next point is about the Blake and Elia fight animation and how awesome it was.
Boy, that was fucking badass. Like, I mentioned this to Robin specifically. This was off stream, and this was before we even started talking about doing this stream. I raved to her about how much I loved the Unbroken Shot, the Yang trailer.
Yeah.
Because I love that type of animation. I love, like, the way, I enjoy, like, Marvel movies, for example, but they do a lot of cuts, and it's hard to understand what's going on. I love that the fluidity of the camera is, it just moves between more pans than cuts.
Yeah.
So you can know what's going on, and you can actually see the movement. That is my fucking shit.
See, the thing is...
I love that they're doing that, and I hate that, I get so pissed when the people are like, because they're mad that they're not using Maya anymore, isn't it what it's called?
No, they are still using Maya. It's Poser was the old one.
It's a Poser, sorry, that's what I mean. That they're not using Poser anymore, and they're like the animation quality and fight quality has gone down so much.
No,
they are
the fight,
fucking
like,
lying.
No, the fight choreography.
I don't care what you're saying. You're spreading misinformation because you're mad that Poser still isn't a thing and you don't like the new models.
Like the whole thing
Like,
about Poser and Maya was that they didn't want Maya because Monty specifically said that they didn't he didn't want to use Maya, but the actual thing about using Maya had nothing to do with like the fight choreography. That was just the sheer fact that they don't know how to animate fights the same way Monty did, which is understandable considering.
Yeah, because Poser's hard. From what I've heard, Poser's hard.
No, like just in general, like with the fight animation, like that was what Monty did. Do you know what I mean? Like he was a fight animator. Like he single-handedly animated the entire Red trailer.
One of my favorite things to see is the mocaps that he did.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I was one of those people that I watched RWBY for the sheer fact that I thought the fight choreography was amazing. Like I watched it for the fights, and this is probably one of my favorite fights of the entire series because it just reminded me of like Monty's style.
They're improving amazingly, and I gotta give credit to the team. And I love to see this progress, and I hate that people are trying to trash on them still. It's like, I saw people like bitching about this fight, and I'm like, how can you... I can get how you can complain. Complaining is not a problem. Complaints are a common thing that happens. But people saying, this was so shit, this was so terrible. No, you're just an asshole that is just holding a grudge.
Yeah.
That's one part of the fandom that pisses me off, but I won't talk about that because that's a whole nother rant.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
one thing about the whole Kali thing, that smile when she drags the bad guy in, that gives me life. That is gonna be, as soon as the whole holiday events are over, that is my profile picture. Just that. I might even offer to pay you, Robin, to make an edit of something with that.
Oh, don't need to pay me. I'll just make you it. Like, I'll make you it. Don't worry.
I'd feel bad just saying, hey, Robin, can you use your time and effort to do this?
I don't care.
But
I just make stuff for people all the time. I don't care. I got a loot box.
But here,
Oh,
same. I'll go to the menu. But
Convenient timing.
I feel so on the Belladonna. Now we're at the Belladonna's portion of the discussion, right? Just making sure I'm not jumping ahead.
No, I just said Blake versus Elia fight animation was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're in that general area anyway.
Yeah, there was.
We're in
another
that general
thing-
area.
There was like another thing that I wanted to address, and like, I thought, you know how Elia turns down the lights? I thought that was gonna like come back to the whole point that they make in Volume 1, where they say that they try to ambush the inverse mooch. What?
They tried to ambush them at night, but they had
Yeah.
night vision.
Yeah, like they were saying, oh, why did like the general guys attack fail? And it was like because most faunus can see in the dark. Like I thought they were gonna like come back to that whole point, and then
Yeah.
you know,
I just mentioned
they
that
just
I
don't.
really loved how that happened. I thought that was really cool and creative for them to do. Like, because I was worried that I was like, it's gonna be hard to input the chameleon styles of her into fighting, but it'd be so awesome if she did stuff like that. Like the fact that you're like, hey, I'll turn out the lights, take out the lights, now I'm invisible pretty much. Ambush.
Like that.
That to me was awesome.
That was quite nice. They were quite creative about, okay, she's a chameleon faunus. What can she do as a chameleon that other people couldn't? Like, they didn't just make it, oh, generic
Yeah.
whatever, blah blah blah. They found a creative way to implement it. So.
See, there was the thing that
I-
confused me though was the fact that she just like dims the switch, but then by the time Blake sets the house on fire, she's like next to the switch. So I was like, why didn't Elia just like take out the lights rather than like switch them off?
Yeah.
Because, well, in all fairness, if you think about it, if Blake tried to go to switch lights back on, she'd probably be vulnerable, so...
No, but like,
Yeah,
the thing
that
is,
too.
like, she could have backed herself into the switch. Like, it's behind
The
her.
thing
Like, she could
is,
just
I feel
walk
like she didn't
backwards
have
and switch it
time.
back on. I know, but
But
like,
imagine
the
that, you'd be
whole-
taking a hand off a weapon. And also, I do have a thing for that. I did like how it wasn't just a typical, let me flick this switch back on and undo it. I do love the fact that my quote that I put in is, sorry dad, just let me burn the fucking house down.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like a point where I made to Key. Well, I didn't make it to Key, but like Key was sitting there, and it was like, you know, when she comes out the house and she's like, humans didn't do this. I was like, I did this. I burned my own fucking house down.
You did this? I did this.
One note I also made, which I discussed with, I didn't discuss, but I mentioned because I wanted to make sure it was cool to put in the stream. I found it a bit metaphorical when Blake knocked off the mask of Elia and zoomed in on it. My last week's prediction about how this fight was going to go was spot on. You guys were saying she was going to incapacitate her. I said she's going to talk to her and try and change her view, and she's eventually going to turn over and redeem herself.
See, that's what I hoped
I
would
felt-
happen, but that's not what I thought was gonna happen. I thought it was gonna be like someone was gonna die, so I had that mindset approaching it. So I was like,
True.
okay,
I was
I know
praying
this
that
show,
Call of Duty
someone's
okay. You can
dying.
take that fucking. By the way, Alex, you can take that stupid got shot down by like Kali out of your fucking quote book because it didn't happen, and it's not gonna happen. I really hope it's not gonna happen because she just replaced Roman on my
that
favorites
bitch
list.
got shot down like Kelly. Jace, 14th of the 12th, 2017.
I'm so scared that's gonna bite me in the ass. But
I was...
I think that mask falling off was a metaphor for Ilia's illusions for the White Fang being good and what they're doing being in need falling away. I was gonna pick Hanzo, you cunt.
Sorry.
What was I saying? I insulted Rob and I lost my train of thought. The mask, thank you. There's like her seeing more like Blake, how Blake abandoned the white thing and she was able to see things clearly.
Yeah.
And then it spans to her zippity zoopin Corsic in the back.
Zippity
Zippity zoopity, get off her property.
So my next point is Blake finally is not running from her problems, and it takes Elia making bad decisions that she had made previously. Yeah, like, so I feel like we all have points for this, but
I quoted it.
So it's it takes Elia making bad choices that she herself had previously made to realize that she needs to face her problems and start like giving the help to people that she needed when she was in the same situation.
I put this is my exact note. Why couldn't you just leave? Because I run away too much. My Blake realizing her flaws and owning up. Look at her grow up. And I'm so excited to see that because now she's not going to go up to like Yang and then be like, I needed to do it because I hurt you guys. She's going to go up apologizing because she sees what she's doing. She's feeling what it's like for her to do it and she realizes her flaws. Yeah. And I love that. I love that they're actually doing a right way of redeeming herself rather than just like, hey, I was your friend like a year with friends with you months ago, and they're gonna be like, I chill B. And you feel like that type of thing, because I'm not downing the writing staff, but I could see it happening.
There's a level 1,000.
Could you imagine if they did like just backtrack though, and Blake's just kind of
I would be annoyed, honestly, because I'm an avid believer that Blake, up until now, has not gotten a fair or good arc.
Yeah,
and
like,
that infuriates me because
I still see people like complaining about this arc, and I'm like, this is probably the most interesting that's happening.
You know, Blake, I'm a hardcore. Sorry, you know, Robin, I am a hardcore Blake lover, and I have always been a hardcore Blake lover.
Yeah,
she is my favorite character, has been and always will be. She is like what Yang is to you is what Blake is to me, to the point where I've debated just doing a straight up gender bent cosplay, or even a cross-dressing.
It's gotten
cosplay.
To the point where my favorites are tied. Like, I don't know who I love more between Yang or Elia, and that really upsets me.
I saw you posting about that, which is really shocking because especially how much you love Yang and how gay you are for her.
The other thing I noticed is that all of my favorites tend to be characters that are shipped with or show to have like romantic attraction to Blake. And I was like, is this just me like low-key having a type that I have?
Low-key having a type.
Like low-key having a type, and I'm like projecting onto my favorites because Blake is totally my type.
Honestly, Blake, if we're talking about, isn't even a type for me. I just love her character, and plus I explained this to Alex, I relate to her too much. That's why I like her.
What?
Like, that's how I picked her as my favorite, not, hey, look, there's my type. She likes my type.
No, yeah, like, it wasn't that at all. Like, I relate to Yang probably the most, but I can see where Elia's coming from as well, so I can really because obviously, you know, I'm a white female, so, and I didn't really realize that I was gay up until, you know, I was maybe 14, 15, kinda like late 13, you know what I mean? So, you know, I have never really, oh no, I'm about to die.
I watched that.
So I'd never really like, experienced like proper, I don't want to say like proper homophobia and fake homophobia, but like, you know, like I'd never been like, I don't know how to describe this, like, cause when when I started realizing I was surrounded by a group of friends and people who I knew would accept me, so, you know, I'd already kept good company that I knew wouldn't really care about it, so, like, I've never, like, I have experienced homophobia before in terms of,
oh my god! Oh
Elia's,
god!
Oh no. Like, Elia's whole thing is to do with, like, discrimination, right? So, I relate to her in terms of discrimination, whereas I relate to Yang in terms of like, you know, she's emotionally fucked up. I'm emotionally fucked up, you know? So...
That's how I am with Blake, like, hey, I'm emotionally fucked up. And I don't know how to face my problems head on most of the time, especially emotional ones, so I run. Heyo! And
Like,
I
I
also
don't run,
point
I
out
just-
that and
I
I
have
sometimes
anger
put
issues.
relationships at jeopardy for that sake of I feel like I need to run.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I love Blake so much, because I relate to her on that personal level, not the edgy shadow clone thing! Like, no, it's not shit like that. It's straight up, like, how she acts as a character, nothing about her abilities, or, like, it's purely personality.
Yeah.
So I totally get what that whole, I love Elia because, and Blake because, and I can't choose.
Yeah.
Cause like, yeah, that's why I also really enjoyed Roman. Also, he's the only
I'm on the
fucking
point.
character with proper good convictions.
Ah, leave me alone. Okay.
I'd say I can kind of understand the whole, yes, I like this character because of this whole thing, like, part of the reason John's one of my more liked characters is because he's more or less oblivious to what's going on around him and shit just seems to happen to him. So... If ever there's been a more accurate description...
I'm oblivious and just don't know what's going on around me, and then all that went through my head was I muted that whole time.
Basically, this is how I quote-unquote function as a human being.
Get on that point.
Okay, so okay, so my next point about the whole Elia and Blake fight is the quote that Elia says, "Stop taking pot shots and fight me like you mean it." That means that
I put that too.
they either have sparred together or they have fought before to the point where Elia knows when Blake's being serious or not in a fight.
Like well, you do know, well, you gotta, not do know, I know you know, but you do gotta bear in mind that Blake did raid Dust trailers before. However, the one we saw was with Ada when she left. She has hinted that she has done multiple, and Elia was one of her partners. So it would make perfect sense that they fought together and she would see Blake's full, I'm trying to kill this thing.
Yeah, but like, it's
Yeah.
just the fact that it goes to show like how close they would have been to the point where Elia knows when she's being serious or not. And that was
I pointed
like,
out there that
was
Blake
just me, my
cared
little
way
gay
too much
heart.
to even attempt to wound her.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ooh, I love my baby.
Like, the entire fight was Blake trying to de-escalate it or find
Yeah.
a more...
That was my exact prediction,
Less
and I was kind
aggressive
of
way.
proud that I got that.
Yeah.
Like, cause everyone was like, she's gonna die, someone's gonna die, and Blake's gonna be like, I'm done fucking with you. But I do love in the fight. This might be my one of my favorite things about the fight. How Elia's swinging her rapier, all cool like, and Blake's just like, nah, get fucked, mate. Have some ice.
Yeah.
You need
Just
to
freezes and
chill
Elia
out.
is just. And it's just then fucking Papa Gira comes in, walking in on his daughter with her little
Fucking-
gay moment.
Yeah, literally my next point was all caps. Dead ass thought they were gonna kiss when Blake pinned her to the ground.
Just hardcore makeout.
No, because like her face gets
We
so
had a
close.
conversation before we put the stream where it was like Garrett just coming like, whoa,
This room's
Oops.
occupied. Let's take it somewhere else.
Corsic Phoenix, a little privacy.
Yeah, because like her face genuinely so close. So I was like, what the what? Like she like
I would've been
motions.
happy with it.
Like her head motions like really close, and I was like, yo.
gonna support the a ship idea here. Rooster Teeth is fond of subtle things, like how when in Volume 1, when Weiss and RWBY fall off in Nevermore, and the way they hinted that Blake was a Faunus is her bow twitch.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, we can just do this as a subtlety, and if some people might pass it off as, hey, it's
Yeah, I
just
thought it was an animation
glitch, or-
thing. That's
Exactly.
what I thought it was.
Something like that, but it was an intentional, hey, if you're a good observer, you'll realize
Oh shit. I got a
she's
Widowmaker
a
to
faunus.
deal with me.
So maybe that like subtle lean in, how it was Blake being like, I know you're gay for me, and I'm a confused mess.
Oh, my babies. Could you imagine though, like what would have happened had Blake just like been like shut up and just like kissed her? Like what the like?
Ilya immediately, I am on your side. Fuck Adam. Capital. Fuck Adam. Your team.
Yeah.
I'm game. Let's do this. Who we stabbing?
Like what
One of my
would-
points
what would
was,
have
so you know how
happened?
like Ilya rolls her off her afterwards because she's like, stop lecturing me.
Yeah.
Sun looked so fucking pissed when he saw Blake on just the ground. Like, no wounds, no feasible damage. Just the fact that she was laying there and possible hurt. He looked so pissed. And you know how I praise my favorite fight ever in the show to be the one, not even a fight, it's when Roman's beating the living fuck out of RWBY?
Yeah.
Sun did just that to Ilya, and I loved it. He literally, if you notice Sun fights, he fights efficiently to take down his target. He fucking whipped her in the back, kicked her damn near in the throat, fucking booted her in the nose, and then just started pushing her against the wall so hard. He was literally shattering the pillar with her body. Like,
See, that was the thing. Like, how strong must both of them be? Because Ilya, like, isn't like back to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's still like she's able to like move her shoulders off of the pillar. So like, how strong must she be if like Sun is deliberately like, trying to push her into this pillar, but like she's still able to like keep herself off it? Like,
I don't know, but like that I enjoyed because I enjoy that raw fighting because to me it feels better.
Yeah. I also like the sheer fact that the only thing that got them to stop was the fact that Blake was crying.
I literally, in all capitals in my notes, say, no, please don't make my baby cry. I love Blake so much. I also,
No, shit,
me and
I put it in
Alex
the wrong
talked
thing.
about this for something that happens immediately after the fight. Gira, from Gira's perspective, he walked in on someone trying to kill his daughter.
Yeah.
That he doesn't have any perspective of their conversation or anything. He is such a force of good. He saved the girl that, to his better knowledge, was killing his daughter in cold blood. Saving the people that were sent to kill him and his wife in cold blood. And I love that, and it was really nice to see this, like, true good, like, leader of the people is, to quote Alex, nobody has to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
It's
okay. Okay, my next point is Blake in Volume 1, when arguing with Weiss about the White Fangs, says they're not all murderers, they're just misguided. And I really, really will hold to my fucking grave that she was talking about Ilya.
Yeah.
So like, I really
God.
like just that whole thing that it just really made me think, because Ilya's whole I don't know what else to do.
That was like so
That
genuine
was-
when she said that, like, the voice acting is so fucking
Yeah, Cherami
good
Lai
now.
is such an amazing voice actress. Like, she's one of my favorite voice actresses because she voices like a load of like my favorite anime characters. And I was like, yo, Cherami Lai does her voice. It's fucking awesome. And oh, she lived up to my fucking expectations. I'm just
There
so
was
happy.
There was a ton of lines like this episode where they were just delivered with so much emotion, like it felt so real.
Yeah. Like, Ilya's
Like,
voice acting
I-
has always just been fucking amazing. Shit.
But I gotta give props to Erin so much this episode. Like, the
Yeah.
way she talked when Blake was crying, just that please alone, that hurt. That hurt me.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, I've met Erin once, and literally every interview that I've ever seen with her since then, it's always the exact same thing that she said, like, at that interview. Oh, not that interview. That time I met her, because I was like, oh, so, I think Blake was also talking about herself. Oh yeah, so like the whole, she's always like, oh yeah, like the voice acting this year was like so hard. It was so challenging, but I think you're really gonna like it. I did so many more emotional scenes this volume, and it's always like it's always that same. Oh yeah, there's so many emotional Blake scenes this volume, and I'm like, you say this every year. And you're not lying.
I am so happy that Blake is fledging out, because I won't lie, as much as I have loved her the entire time, she felt very filler for a main character.
Yeah.
Like, she felt like a plot convenience to push the story along, to like forcefully involve Team RWBY into the
White Fang
that
thing?
started off with Torchwick, that then proceeded into the White Fang and Cinder, and then followed by Salem. Because if you think anything, the best thing to happen to this entire plot was Roman Torchwick, because he... I'm gonna... okay. I'll stop.
We get it. You like
We get it, he was good!
We get it. You like,
I
you
miss
love
him.
Kylie Belladonna. You love Roman Torchwick. We get it.
Me takes a breath. but
yeah,
Blake felt like a lot of kind of a plot pusher, so I'm so happy to see her having emotion, because they always put her off as this deadpan that felt, for lack of a better
like,
term,
no
edgy
emotion.
teen.
Yeah.
Like,
she was very much just the, I'm here because I have to be.
Yeah.
But,
like, yeah, especially like one
It's
of
like,
her first
oh, my creator
lines
has put me
being...
here.
Exactly. Like, I just, for some reason, I thought you were making a quote from Recreators, just by
I was
saying
gonna
it that
say.
way.
Oh, no.
Sorry, one of our first interactions in the show is her straight up not caring, like, oh, I'm RWBY, da 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 da. Like, she literally straight up disses Weiss. That was one of the things I loved about her. Just like, just get fucked. You just know she's this rich chick, and you're like, yeah, get fucked.
Yeah.
But,
See, I think the thing is, like, always find hilarious is the fact that she's like, oh yeah, she's Vaishni, she's this rich, upper class, whatever the fuck, prissy bitch, but then, like, did you see, like, the reference pictures at the end of this episode where it shows you how big Blake's house is in respect to Blake?
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, her house is fucking huge.
Pot, care to call the kettle black?
Yeah.
in
I was like,
hindsight, I want to see a fucking like little clip where it's just like that scene where she's about to insult Weiss, but she just looks at her dead and goes, "I robbed this bitch," and walks off.
Or like, what if it just gets to the whole like RWBY reunion and then Sun's just kind of like, you know, Blake's fucking rich, right?
Do y'all know, like, Blake's parents run an island or some shit? Like,
Yeah.
Weiss just like,
cray-cray.
"You've given me shit this entire time. You own Menagerie? No."
You own Menagerie. I mean, pretty much. Like,
Basically, yeah.
I hear a tracer. Ah!
I love 1v1 Nanas.
Fuck. But, okay, so, where is it? Okay, the thing that confused me more than anything was that, you know how, like, Elia just kinda, like, hits Blake against the chair, and then Blake, like, kind of passes out for a little second?
Mm-hmm.
Why does that happen? Because, like, nothing happened to Blake's aura, so why does she pass out?
I think it's because she was trying not to fight, maybe since she wasn't fully, like, trying, because, like, it seems like aura's the type of thing that needs to be prepared, question mark.
No, yeah, I get that, but, like, at the same time she was, like, she might have not been trying to fight, but, like, Elia was, so she would have, like, had to,
I don't
you know.
think Elia was trying to full-fledged fight, or else that wouldn't have gone over so easy.
Yeah.
I feel like she would have gone for a lot more lethal attacks with that Zip Zappy, but the only time she used her Zippy Zappy was to shock Blake's hand to get her away from the blade block.
Okay. Next point is, my heart stopped when I thought Elia died.
That whole sequence was just...
Like, Alex was there when me and Alex watched it together, and like, I literally slumped in my chair. Like, I just like...
There was fear. There was palpable fear dripping off of you.
Now you know how I felt. That's where I'll leave it.
Literally,
Well, we don't quite know how you feel.
Shut the fuck up, Alex.
Because the whole point was, I was
You
like,
keep it
okay.
to yourself.
No, because I was like, okay, Elia's probably gonna die next episode, blah 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 blah, and then I was like, Sun is gonna be the one that gets Elia killed, and she is going to be crushed by this huge pillar because Blake set her house on fire. Blake and Sun both collectively and inadvertently killed Elia. I was like...
Instead, Blake, you know, almost single-handedly is responsible for the death of another person.
No, yeah, that is actually my next
Bye,
point.
Finnick.
My next point is
Fucking...
Blake deadass just killed a man.
Yeah, I have in all caps Blake straight up responsible for killing a man.
Yeah, because the whole thing is like
Mine
she
is
stands
straight
up.
up by Finnick.
No, like she stands up, she readies her gun, and she doesn't do anything until she sees Finnick run at her dad.
True.
Yeah.
So she doesn't act until she sees him running in that general direction. So she's like, haha, I'm just gonna, you know, pull my dad out of harm's way, and we're just gonna fucking kill this guy. And it's so horrible.
That partially says something about what I wanted to happen. So you know how Corsic is like, you ruined everything and tries to charge at them, and that's Elia's redeeming point?
Yeah.
I was so hoping Blake was just gonna straight up shoot him in the face, like, nah, fuck off.
See, because that's the
Get
thing, like,
fucked.
he's not even running with weapons. Like, what was he hoping to do? Like, tackle Blake?
To be
Well,
fair,
if you noticed when
Punch
he was
her?
fighting
Have a
Gira,
temper tantrum?
yeah, he was trading fists with Gira, so man's got to
they
be...
were literally fucking fist bumping each other into
It
submission.
was...
It was the most bro fight I've ever seen.
It was beautiful. I have to admit, like, I really like Corsac and Fennec. Like, when
Well,
Fennec
you like
got
Corsic
hit,
now.
it was the genuine
Yeah.
concern.
Talk about Roman again, dick.
It was the
Sorry.
genuine concern in Fennec's voice when Corsac got hit. Like,
Yeah.
it was the sheer raw emotion of that. I was like, holy shit, they really care. And then Fennec straight
What
up dies
bugs
and
me
just says,
there is that he didn't care when Finnick died. You ruined everything. There was no emotion there. They could have because I think if they're gonna show emotion for him getting hit, why would he even fight after he dies? He would be too broken to fight. I would.
that,
Because
yeah.
I think it was more of a, like, I don't know what else to do right now, so I'm just gonna, like, lash out. Otherwise,
Like-
this was all for nothing.
I feel like it should have been like, he looks over, he sees, like, Fennec said, and just collapses there. Like,
What
I
was
know
I
it wouldn't
like,
have given
though?
Ilya a
Like,
chance for redemption, but...
see, because my whole point was, like, when we were watching it together, what was I saying? I literally audible was like, just go home, man. Just go home.
Go home. I have a very, very important question about Finnick's death. Why this doubles for Roman's death, by the way. Why the fuck did it explode?
Well, it's highly flammable, you know?
See, the
Sorry,
thing
what's
is,
highly
The Grim
explosive?
Ape
part of
Roman
it-
blew up, and
no,
then...
that was because he was on a spaceship.
Yeah, but what blew him up? I can't remember.
No, it eats him, and then it goes to eat Ruby, and Ruby, like, decks it in the back of the head, and then it, like, goes flying in through the windows of the airship, and then the airship blows up.
Like, the airship blowing up at
Oh, that's a
least
good point.
kind of makes sense, but...
I
The
was
favorite-
telling this... Oh.
My favorite part was the fact that it was literally, like, a cartoon explosion. Like, it's like a cartoon explosion picture. Like, you could get off of, like, words,
For
Pixar thing.
Finnick or Roman?
Finnick.
Oh.
It felt like once they were dead, like the whole thing was just swept under the carpet. Like, yeah, no, they served their entire purpose. We're not gonna bother with them too much now. Like that, I think that was something that annoyed me was in this episode they really did feel like characters, and then
like
one said now we're sweeping everything under the rug with them.
yeah, like
so,
I think that's just a thing they tend to do because they tried to flesh out Roman, and in the moment they fleshed out Roman, like that was the moment he died, and that was one thing that really annoyed me about his death.
like,
Was the sheer fact
can
that
Annoyed
like,
you.
No, like I get
You
it,
know
but like
my piece on it.
see,
I have
like-
screamed about that so much. That is such bullshit to me. They have a bad habit of that.
see, like the one
really
thing,
bad habit
like
because
the
I
thing
think it
that
makes you
annoyed me,
care.
the thing that annoyed me about it was the fact that, like, literally, it is the moment that they start making their villains feel like actual characters, that's when they die. Like,
good
Cinder
thing
still
Adam
doesn't
will
feel like
never
a
die
character to
then.
me.
true.
Like, to me, Cinder's just this evil because I want to be.
Yeah.
But, like, and this isn't just me because I love Roman. Roman was the only villain that felt real, that had conviction, that had motives, and you even got to learn them. I do what I do to survive. I live to live. I don't do this for evil. I don't do this because I want to kill everyone or I want to help this
I do what
god
I need to do
complex
to
woman
survive.
kill everyone. I do what I need to do to survive, and that speaks so heavily since he knew he was working for a much bigger
I just realized
picture.
something. I just realized something.
What?
Oh no, you're gonna get so angry at this, Jace.
Oh no.
Roman never realized he was working for Salem?
No. You know how, like, at the point that we see Cinder, she's already taken some of the maiden powers.
No! No!
You know how that part, you know how the part where she's like, you'll know what you need when you need to know, and he kind of looks at her, and then he like turns away, and he's like,
I just realized something!
Yeah, she probably influenced Roman's choice.
No, that's
she
not what I
manipulated-
realized. No, that's not what I realized. She had a vague control over the Grim. Salem discards people when she doesn't need them anymore because they're assets. Ah!
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Did we just crack the code? Did we just crack the code?
I'm not happy!
Did we just crack the code? Salem and
I think we
Cinder
just.
kill
I think
Roman?
all we did. I think all we did was crack Jace. I think that's all
I
we
was
did.
over it. I was over it. I was just mad that it happened.
We cracked the code. We cracked it. I hope that
cracked my
gets. I
fucking
hope that gets
spirits all you got.
readdressed. I hope that gets readdressed. Like I hope they touch on that, and it's not just that. Oh my gosh, we've delved so deep into this theory that
No, because
this is something that we
I've
have
thought about
noticed,
this
and then they're
before.
like, haha, no, like, yeah, we totally thought that up, and it's like,
I've thought about this before. No, I've thought about this before because if you think about it, all those Grims flying around, they didn't attack prior, but except when it was convenient, when only post Maiden powers being got. Once the mission was complete was when they attacked someone of the allies. Because why didn't they attack Emerald and Mercury? Because it's not like they had... I made that comment to Ty once, but I never made the full comment. Robin went totally somewhere else with the whole choice thing. I was just horrified at my realization.
oh my god.
I'm so mad
I
right
feel
now.
so sorry for you.
The pain doesn't stop.
no.
The pain doesn't stop with Roman.
You can
The-
never get off this ride.
See, that's the thing, like, because you know how her eyes, like, light up? And then he, like, kind of goes, Like, is that the maiden
Why would they let
powers?
such fine eyeliner wings go to waste, too? Why would she kill him? Those wings should have saved his life.
Could have just flew away.
Honestly, though, fucking fly after me, Griffin. I got a sore. I'm so mad right now. You don't even
I'm
understand.
so sorry that we
I
have
feel
just
like-
come to this. I feel like we've cracked like some sort of code. I genuinely feel like we have just made some
This isn't
sort
even
of like
about the episode we're
groundbreaking
meant to talk
revelation.
about. I was just
No.
using a parallel.
I'm so sorry.
I'm
just, like-
so mad right now.
No,
Why?
like it was just a sudden realization, like because we were talking about like the maiden powers earlier on, and I was like, what does that mean? And then it was just a sudden realization of, wait a minute, I always wondered about this. Is that the maiden powers? By the way, is it me on point? Oh my god, I can't believe this.
I don't want to do this podcast anymore.
We have more points to touch on. Okay.
It's not over yet. You can't get off the ride
My
yet,
next
Jace.
point is, Elia is the good bean that I always knew her to be. That was my next point. Anyone want to discuss that?
I have a little box.
I have more points. Like, in all capitals. This is, this is terrible for what just I went through. Because all that sees this is about Kali saying, that smile gives me life. Followed by, I brought you's a bitch, as Kali drags in.
Callie successfully laying down the law.
I'm so fucking... I'm so... I
can't believe this. I don't even know how to discuss the rest of the episode now that we've made this fucking realization. Like, how do you move on from this?
Someone in your comments put that realization as a bitch, right? You don't understand. Roman is my favorite character. I love Roman so much. Ask either of them. He was my favorite character, right along with Blake. Kali just recently took over because she's alive, so there's more to love with her, and I can at least hope she doesn't die. I'm the only one in this group to have my number one killed.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
you
my
love Penny, you love Kira, but they weren't your number one.
Oh my god.
I will admit, Pyrrha was my number one and Penny was my number two. So
You then can get some of the pain.
I can at least understand it partially.
See, like, I know how upset I was when Yang got her arm chopped off, so I couldn't even imagine how upset you were when Roman died.
Oh my god, you don't... Okay, I'm gonna explain this to you guys. So you know how I just screamed rather than said anything as that realization?
Yeah.
It's because you know what went through my head? It was like... It flashed back. It was like a fucking non-flashback, by the way. Flashes to Robin going, her reach, control more Grim further away. Taking down the towers that may suppress that and stuff at Beacon. Going through the fall of Beacon. Cinder's power of choice. And all this stuff. And then it was just Raven, like, in fucking echo speakers on my head. She'll just discard us when she doesn't need us. And I screamed.
Non-flashback.
I am so fucking mad right now.
Oh my god. I can't wait till our like Christmas stream where we go through everything. Like, I think this is why we need the Christmas stream next week, is just to like go over everything that was like, holy shit, wait a minute.
So
mad.
next week is basically non-flashbacks the stream.
Yeah. I'll even call it that. Dungeons of Love have non-flashbacks. Episode 4. RWBY discussion.
Jace fucking dies.
Alex is in fucking air or something.
Robin laughs. Okay,
Why did I have to realize that? I could have gone happy, not fucking knowing that, but no.
I am so
I
sorry.
am so unbelievably pissed right now and sad.
Thank you, Miles and Carrie, for this wonderful, wonderful great thing that you have given us.
Hey.
Okay, so
Just think if it weren't for these streams, you would have never found it out.
on to the next stream, on to the next point, sorry. Blake steps the fuck up with her little speech.
Humans didn't do this. I did
Just before
this.
that, so I don't have to backtrack for the speech thing, since my next thing is about that as well. I love how Kira is like, Blake, and he's gonna try and stop her, but Kali, whose hand is the size of one of Kira's peck and a quarter of a nipple, is like,
Like, it
Like,
looks like it nearly wins him.
Yeah, honestly, and he just stops, and like you see the soft expression go over his face, and he's like, "I, babes."
I think it's just his look of like, for a split second, he looks so incredibly shocked and surprised, and then he's like, "Oh
Hi.
wait, it's my wife."
Oh,
Of course,
Yeah.
this
it's
is
her.
what's going on.
Can we just talk about how amazing the like belladonnas are? Like just in terms of like their marriage is just so precious, and they love Blake so much. Like they are the parents of the year.
All
Why
of
is
the
my TV
belladonnas are
asking
my
me to shut
children,
down?
and I love them.
Okay, so Blake steps the fuck up. That was my only point on that. Does anyone want to make a further
My
point
point
on
was,
this?
look at how she puts into perspective. Everyone can be a monster. You go, my lovely belladonna.
Yeah,
I just
because
wrote
like
they are even.
I feel like that is something that can be applied to real life as well, along with Elia's fact of like that she makes a point to say the people that just stand aside and watch it happen are just as bad as the people that do it themselves, because like I feel like the way Rooster Teeth are handling like these kind of topics is just really really good, because I feel like the whole
They're finally showing some racism, which I'm happy about.
Yeah,
Wait,
like,
that
and
sounds
it's-
really bad out of context, but
it's
you
like
get what I mean.
I really like the fact that
Can
they're
I
finally
bet the book of Jaceisms?
yeah yes.
No, I'm glad they're showing racism.
No, but like it's the sheer fact that like
Nazis are already coming back in America. That was easily to believe.
so like the fact that just because you are part of a minority group doesn't mean that you are not capable of spreading hate within that minority group.
That was a nice little lesson.
Yeah, because like
That's something that just does not get touched upon in most media. So
yeah, because
it's
like
Rooster Teeth kind of went, no, this
yeah,
can be a thing.
like the
You're
thing
not
that I'm
immune to it
seeing.
because you're a part of it.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like the thing that I've seen, like, personally, I have seen, like, gay people hating on trans people, and, like, we're
I
all
know
a part
that-
of this.
Or gay
That's
people hating on
being-
bi people because they need to pick a side.
Yeah, like, it's just because
yeah.
you're part of this group doesn't mean that you're immune to spreading hate within that group. Like, we're all part of the same community, but we're all, like, we're just as capable of spreading hate. Like, another thing that I really thought was, like, really blatant was that RWBY came out, like, how do I say, like, to put it into, like, cultural perspective, RWBY started around 2013, and that was when Black Lives Matter started becoming, like, a more apparent thing. So I thought the whole White Fang thing was just, like, a metaphor for Black Lives Matter.
But do bear in mind that they were written before the huge Black Lives Matter movement actually
No,
started.
yeah, I
You
know
gotta
that,
realize how much
but
time
I
predecessors
thought
were writing.
that because I just thought like it was really like because of all the stuff that was happening like at the time, and then the fact that it's such like a culturally, what's it called, like the point in time that it is like coming out, although it was written and animated before it all went down.
Hey, Kian, can you
it's
put down your
such
heel
a-
thing?
Like, what's it called?
Kian,
It's
please heal me.
such an appropriate
Kian.
thing to be talking
Heal me,
about
please.
at that point
Thank
in
you.
time. Like, I don't know the word that I'm trying to find here.
A taboo.
No, not taboo, but it's like the fact that it's so
Such a cultural issue.
not even like a cultural issue. Like, just at the time that all this stuff is going down, it's like it's
A hot button.
yeah, it's a cultural hot topic kind of thing that is being addressed through some form of like media in a really good way. Because I thought, like, genuinely thought that the whole White Fang thing was just like, yeah, culturally relevant. That was it. Thank you, Ty. But I just thought it was like, I thought it was just a big metaphor for the Black Lives Matter movement that was like becoming more apparent at the time that it was all coming out, because like the whole thing is like, you know how everyone just is, like everyone kind of stereotypes black people to be violent criminals, and that is exactly how faunus are
The
always
white fang were
yeah
depicted. As much as I said I don't think the white thing was a reference to Black Lives Matter. It was definitely touched upon. Because no matter what point you are in the 2000s, racism has been touched on heavily, and prejudice against any marginalized people.
The other point was that Black Lives Matter started out as a peaceful protesting group, and then it became radicalized, which is exactly what happened to the White Fang. So that's why I was like, yo, is this just like a big metaphor for Black Lives Matter? Because
I feel like that's more coincidental.
Yeah, it probably is coincidental, but I was like, that is like really well done if it's not coincidental.
I think what they were saying was this is what could happen, and then it just happened to, you know.
Because as we know, the 2000s have been the years of what could go wrong. Oh wait, it did go wrong.
It went. What can happen? Oh. It happened.
Okay.
They're definitely a... The phonics were definitely made as, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? A parallel to real life.
Yeah.
Which is no surprise. It's not like Rooster Teeth is known for keeping their mouth shut.
True.
Wait, sorry, what was that? My dad came into the room, so I was like...
I said that, as Alex said, the 2000s were pretty much the years of what could happen, what could go wrong. Oh no, it already did. And I pointed out, I think the white thing was parallel to this could happen, and it just happened to happen during that release.
More coincidental thing than anything else.
And I followed it by saying, and Rooster Teeth is known to be kind of opinionated. They don't keep their mouth shut, really.
Yeah.
They're very aware they're a big company, they influence a lot of people, and
that's one of my favorite things about them, by the way, that they know it. And they are humbled by it. And they're willing to, I hate saying this, recognize a form of privilege there, and recognize the responsibility that they do bear.
Yeah. Because, like, no matter what, like, I know there's loads of people that are like, no, like, we're not privileged, but, like, white people are, and I hate to be, like, controversial kind of thing.
Okay,
but, like,
I'm gonna play, I'm gonna play something here. I lived in Kauai, right? This is on the Hawaiian Islands. I'm white, I'm pale white, I'm damn near pure blood Irish. So, I'm white hair ginger, pale, I can't do anything, I just burn. I went and lived on the islands, and I tried to play sports and all that stuff, but the kids were so racist, and so were the adults, that the teachers wouldn't teach me how to read. The kids would gather around and throw rocks at me. They tried to set my sister's hair on fire. They bullied my other sister to the point where she tried to kill herself. And meanwhile, they had the privilege of being able to go outside and not worry about officers stopping them to purely harass them, or worry which kid is going to try and hit me, which kid is going to try and hit my sister, or is my sister going to be alright because the kids are going to be nice today. So I'm a huge advocate against racism for these reasons, that as a white person, I went through the rare experience of being a white guy that experienced it. So I recognize that I have that privilege, because I experienced what a lot of black people don't have the choice to be able to get away from, and that's the reason I hate the fact it's like, hey, they can't really escape it. I at least had the opportunity to leave the state they hated me in. They can't leave the country that they're hated in. It's like... So it's like, that is a huge part of people who say, oh, I don't have privilege because I'm poor. No, you have an innate form of privilege. As much as I hate using the whole privilege thing, I hate using that. It sounds so dumb to me, but I get it.
Yeah, like...
And I love that Rooster Teeth is paralleling this shit. Like, this is my favorite thing. It's so amazing.
Yeah, like, the thing is, like, because, like, obviously I'm Scottish, like, the whole thing about Scotland is that, like, not a lot, like, I don't know what, like, well, I have never seen it, but, like, if you're racist in Scotland, you get called the fuck out on it, like,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Do
Like,
you?
could call, yeah, like,
In
you could call the
America,
fuck out.
people fucking turn a cheek, and I hate it. I have literally gotten into straight up fucking fights to defend people like that. Because there's a difference between people of being able to say, I dislike racism, and being like, oh, I experienced it. Because when it's like experiencing something bad happen, like say a suicide happened in the family, you have such a hate for suicide from that point on. That like people who joke about it kind of irritate you, stuff like that. I'm a bad person to say that because when I experienced it in my family, I fucking immediately started making jokes about it. But it's that kind of idea.
Yeah, it's just the whole, like, I guess I'm just one of those people, like, I just hate people being mean to people. I hate people being assholes to people. So racism in itself
I hate rude
is
people.
just, yeah, like, racism in itself is just something that falls into the category of you are being negative to this group of people that can't help things. Because as someone who was bullied for a majority of my life because of things that I liked, like, although that's not as severe as, you know, racism, it's also a thing that I couldn't, like, escape in a way. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, I had been harassed by people out in the streets, people that I didn't know, when I was walking past, like, another school. So they went to a completely different school. I didn't know who they were, but they knew who I was, and they knew the thing that everyone bullied me about. So I was like, yo, I don't even fucking know who these people are, and they're still harassing me, even though I don't know who they are, and I haven't talked about the thing that they are still harassing me about in literal years. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Imagine
like,
that, but being unavoidable. Like,
yeah.
Because,
So,
like, as much as, like, I hate to say this, you could change your lights. You can't change
Yeah.
your color.
Yeah.
Like, that was
So-
one of the things that humbled me about Hawaii, is the helplessness it made me feel. And I realized that racism has a lasting effect. There's a reason, the reason I got into video games, I used to like sports. I really, really loved baseball. And I tried to play it, but hello, I was white and trying to play on the baseball team of the Native Islanders. And I'm going to preface this by, as much as a distaste I have them with my history of them, I have nothing against Native Islanders. I'm going to just say that now. But, I started to stay inside all the time because I was afraid to go outside. What happens if I go outside? I can't even go across the street. So I ended up starting to have insomnia and depression at age fucking 6 and 7. By the way, this is when the teachers wouldn't teach me how to read it. 6 and 7.
Right.
And so I had the basic reading things. I had to teach myself how to do that shit, fun fact. But I turned to video games because they made me feel safe, because I had a semblance of control. And that turned me to fear the outdoors, even to the point where to this day, I have a want to stay inside.
Yeah.
I have, because it's safe to me, and I relate that to when I was younger. And then the video games also make me feel safe, because I went from being belittled and having people throw things at me to be able to go online and just talk to some random person, regardless of them being like, get teabag, you little faggot. It's like, at least they're not hurting me. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like racism has lasting effects, and that's something that a lot of people don't really take into account.
Yeah, like,
That
not
even
even,
if
like, not
they
even
were
just
only
racism, though, like,
discriminated
actually,
against once,
like,
it's like, even, it's so dumb.
it's like, even you saying, like, racism and stuff has a lasting effect. Like, I know for a fact that, like, I've had to go to counseling and therapy and stuff for, like, how bad, like, the bullying and stuff that I went through was, because I have, like, rejection issues, like, in regards to society, and I have, like, abandonment issues as well, because, like, people would just, like, fucking just up and leave me for, like, no reason, and I was like, yo, what the hell is happening? So, like,
What
even,
the fuck?
so, like, even stuff that happened to me, like, years ago still has, like, lasting effects, like, to this day, and I'm like, yeah, like, I could still, like, avoid this, like, this is avoidable, like, racism isn't something that people can avoid, and it's, so the fact that, you know, it's not even just racism, it's also, like, in terms of the LGBT community, and so I just think, like, Blake's whole...
Do you think that's why they put Elia in the white thing?
Yeah, because the other thing is that I wanted to address that I have seen, like, talked about, like, on Tumblr and everything, is like Elia's, like Amitola literally means rainbow.
Yeah.
And the whole thing of like homosexuality in terms of like people being like, you know, people can be discriminated against if they're LGBT, but the fact that Elia could pass as human, LGBT people can pass as straight so long as they just don't express it.
She was a chameleon. She was
Yeah,
told to
she
blend
was-
in by her parents because you're not normal.
Yeah, like she was. Ooh, I'm
Elia
trying-
is an
trying not
entire
to-
metaphor. And I think
Yeah.
that's the reason why you like it.
Yeah, that is another reason why I like her, because, like, oh, I'm trying not to like cry right now, but like her whole, you know, like, she could pass as human, she could pass as straight. Like, I pass for straight. Like, I have told my mother that I am pretty sure that I am like a lesbian, but she.
Mother, I am a muff scruncher.
Yeah. But she still is like she still to this day is like, no, you're not. You've not done anything with a girl. And I'm like, well, I've never done anything with a guy either. Yet you're saying that I'm straight, so.
That's like saying to me, I'm Ace. You haven't done anything with anyone.
Yeah.
It's birthday. That's the
So
point.
it's yeah, and then the whole thing where Aaron said that she wanted Blake to represent everything that she struggled with in high school, and the fact that Blake herself could pass as human with her bow, and that's another reason why I think Blake is going to be bisexual.
Yeah,
because-
it would make sense
because
to
her whole thing
stuff
is-
that.
Yeah, her whole thing is passing as human. So, like the same as Elias was, I could pass as human.
Hiding in plain sight. They could do that as a
Yeah.
parallel. That
Yeah, that's exactly how I think the whole Blake situation is going to play out. Like, she is going to be bisexual because her and Elia's whole point of, I could pass as human, I am a faunus hiding in plain view. Like, it's both really, really similar.
I wanted people to. What's the quote? Hold on.
See
I
me-
wanted people to
I
know me
wanted
for
people to
who
judge
I
me
was,
for
not
who
what
I
I
am.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. No, honestly, that's the quote that makes me fucking love.
So I really think that is what's going to happen. That's why I have such a strong feeling that Blake is going to be bisexual.
What if she like comes out and then uses that exact quote again? That would be awesome.
Yeah. Like, that is a quote that I think about all the time, because whenever I like talk to new people, I never ever like talk about my sexuality at all until
Which
someone
is
else brings it
fair.
up. Yeah, because it's like, it's a whole, okay, I'm gonna let you get to know me before you make a judgment on me. So if anyone's like I don't even talk about it, like, see if someone's like, oh, do you have any ex-boyfriends or whatever? Like, I'm like, yeah, I had ex-boyfriends because, you know, I went out with people before I realized that I was gay, right? So, yes, I have ex-boyfriends, but I won't say anything else. I'm just like, yeah, I had ex-boyfriends. Tell me about your ex-boyfriends, and I'm like, okay. So I'm gonna let you
I don't
get
mean
to
to
know
derail
me.
the conversation, but I love the fact that Ruby's gotten so deep that we're able to pass into this form of conversation, yet it still makes full sense, even in the context of the episode we're talking about. That's amazing to me.
Like,
But
the whole
anyway,
episode,
continue.
most people in society think everyone is default straight, like video games for some reason. Exactly. So it's like the whole, like, one of the reasons I love RWBY so much is the fact that it is so deep and there is so many things that you can apply to real life. Like Elia's whole, like, the other thing that the characters, I'm like, everything you say, I just fucking love how you just call society out on this bullshit. And I think that's another reason why.
Exactly, like, Ruby didn't make me feel this, but you know how, I've been multiple times called a Homestuck trash, because I was. Homestuck made me realize what I felt towards me. My friend Eli was okay. because they supported it, which is really interesting. Which I love shows that can do that, that totally change a worldview and make things. They actually make an effect with their popularity, and I love that RWBY's doing that with the parallels to the LGBTQ community relative to the minority groups. Like, everyone thinks they're these mongoloids that cause destruction, yet it'll show you menagerie, and people are just happy, they're living.
Yeah.
But then you got the flip side of going to Atlas, and they're like, they're monsters that attack us and rob us.
Yeah, like,
And it's like, I really love that they're doing this.
Like, since we're, like, kind of running off this tangent, like, just be like, okay, we're talking about this because this, but, like, Blake's whole thing is, if we let them do it and don't address it, then we are letting them represent us, and the only person that we can blame is ourselves.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why I really, really loved Blake's whole little speech thing, because it's like, we are all capable of being monsters, we are all capable of spreading fear, like, we are not...
That is my favorite thing. My note says exactly, look how she puts down that everyone can be a monster.
Yeah, and it's the whole, you know, if you let Adam act as a voice for our people, then the only people that we can blame is ourselves. Because we're not
like,
stopping it.
It's like, you're arguing for equality but going after superiority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so good. It's like, I love the tones that they're taking. And they're heavy, and I love it. And I'm so proud of Rooster Teeth for it.
Like, because it's just, I just love the fact that the whole show is just mature. Like, the other thing that I was gonna say was, like, you get people who sit and be like, oh, why do you care about, why do you care about representation so much? And it's like, for reasons like this. Like...
Because I didn't have it.
Yeah. Like, it was RWBY that made me realize that I was gay. Like, because it kind of like, not even just that, but like, in terms of like anger issues and abandonment issues and everything. Like, see, like, my favorite character was RWBY up until Volume 2, Episode 6. Like, I hated Yang up until that episode. Because, like, the whole, you know, I had these important people just up and leave multiple times with different people, and it's like, yeah, I felt like that all the time, where I just felt alone, and that, you know, all these people just like kind of left me. So it's like, yeah, so that's representation in terms of like, I've also been abandoned. And then Yang's, like, it's in that episode where you kind of see Yang's happy bravado, like, come down, her mask comes off, and she's like, yeah, I'm happy because I had to be happy in order to protect my little sister from how shit this world is. And it just really made me think of my whole, I pretend to be happy because if I act sad, my parents will be angry at me for being sad because they think that they're not doing a good job as parents. So it's it's like, not even just representation in terms of like people of color, like LGBT representation, it's, you know, little things like that, like, okay, this character has abandonment issues, this character has shitty parents, this, you know what I mean? So like, representation...
This character has very unhealthy coping mechanisms and doesn't know how to handle emotion and is afraid of it even. Doesn't know how to handle friendship.
Yeah. And the fact that, you know...
Now who am I describing? Me or Blake?
So it's like, representation is such an important thing, and I'm so glad that Rooster Teeth's touching on it, and I just don't understand why, you know, the fandom gets so angry when people ask
I'm
for
gonna trash on
representation.
RWBY Nation for a second.
Go for
Those fucks have zero ground when they're like, just hardcore bitching about this shit. Like, they're bitching about, oh, here's your forced gay character. Like, fuck off. And they're like, what do you mean you want to be represented? It's like, what do you think? You don't you don't have the right to bitch about representation because guess what you are, boy? represented. Are you a
Yeah,
white
'cause,
dude?
like, the
A white
thing
chick?
is,
Straight?
loads of things that
Get
I've
to it.
seen is that why does everything have to be gay nowadays? And it's like, well,
But I've
for
seen those same
centuries-
people commenting on pictures, because you know how it's like nothing that could be considered lewd is one of the rules, but people post that shit all the time. One of my problems is I see those exact people commenting on stuff that's lesbian, like, oh, but you support it now? Because I'm gonna quote you here on one of your posts. You're sick of it being marked is just a fetish. And that, and often people treat it like that. Like, I don't
It's
want
like-
that to be the only representation.
It's like, 'cause the thing is, like, you know how Cameron's my best friend and Cameron's gay? And,
Yeah.
like, he says stuff like this all the time and it kind of, like, annoys me. And I don't ever want to, like, bring it up because I'm like, right, okay, it's whatever. But he's always like, oh, it's so hard to find, like, other gay guys. Like, being gay is so hard, like, kind of thing. And I'm not trying to, like, downplay it. But it's like, lesbians, it's a fetish. Like, it is a
Yeah.
fetish on a on a porn site. And like, even for straight guys who have nothing to do with lesbians, like that's the exact opposite. Like, guys should not be involved in lesbian things at all. Like, that's the whole point. And it's a fetish for straight guys, and it just pisses me off.
I am lagging so hard. I can hear you guys, but my game's lagging.
But yeah, so I just really like, right, so we'll try to come back before we go into a big rant about lesbians, but so
Well, we already expected talking about Elia.
so my next point is just Blake Elia's skin still before Blake smiles at her. So it's like oh, what? Hello?
Oh my god, I'm scared.
Okay.
I'm just lagging. Shh, I'm hoping it evens out.
Are you gonna say something about it?
Me?
Yeah.
I enjoyed the subtleties because, like I made a comment earlier. I love how they're actually using her.
Yeah, like the
chameleon bit.
things. The other things are I can't wait to see more Blake and Elia interactions in the next episodes.
Honestly, though, I hope they do not too much, like an entire episode's worth, but I want to see ship interactions where not like shipping, but like where they're on the ship going to. Can I stop lagging? Going to Haven and just like now that she knows she's super gay for her, seeing how they interact.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, is that going to be addressed again? Like, is it going to be brought up, the fact that Elia literally told Blake, you know, I liked you?
I'm a little gay.
Yeah.
She didn't
so,
say
like,
she doesn't even pretty much say I like you. She says I like you. I have feelings, but I'm
yeah, I
pushing them
wanted you to
aside
look
because
at me like that.
it's a necessary sacrifice.
Yeah. So it's not even as if it's like a past thing, like, it is a current thing. Like, I wanted you to look at me like
there's
that.
nothing to make you think it was past tense.
So, the thing is, you know how Blake's like, oh yeah, we've got a ship captain that owes us a favor. Like, that ship is called Pride.
Oh, I didn't think about that. The ship is called Pride.
So,
I see what you
first-
guys did there.
yeah, and the first mate is like non-binary as well, and that's like a confirmed thing. Like, first mate is non-binary, and the ship's called Pride, and we're gonna get our little gays on it. So, I really hope that it's like brought up again, that, you know, Elia's a little bit gay.
Here's our
for Blake.
resident gays.
Yeah. Sun and Elia are best bros.
That owl. Yeah, quote Robin, that owl is a mood.
It is.
You stabbed me. I have. Ow!
I just love the fact that she was
Like-
going to apologize, and so you feel like I don't know how many times I'll watch that back just to see like Blake's face, how she shifts like from looking at like smiling up at Sun to like looking at Ilya like ooh. Yeah, I just love it.
I enjoy everything about that scene. Just like I love the shock on Ilya's face. Why'd you pinch me?
Yeah. Like ow, and he's like, oh, we'll call it even. I love Sun.
Are you 6 years old?
Okay, so talking about since we've kind of discussed everything, so I watched the RWBY Rewind thing, and there wasn't a clip, but they did say that something big was happening next episode, and I've wrote here
When
that
is next episode, by the way?
I'm pretty sure it's next. Yeah, I really hope they bring up the whole confession thing too, don't worry. But so I think it's this weekend, but I don't think there'll be one next weekend.
Okay, because I wasn't sure
So-
which was gonna be. Well, if it's gonna be the Christmas weekend, that means it wouldn't be this weekend because Christmas Monday.
Yeah. Okay. So
I don't know, I
like
guess
a
we'll
New
see Sunday
Year's-
morning.
I guess it'll be New Year's stream then.
Yeah.
Maybe. Holy smokes! 2017 is almost over. How weird is that?
I honestly didn't feel it go by that fast.
Me neither. Wait, no, it went by really fast for me. Actually, I'm talking bullshit.
No, I mean slow. That's what I meant. It went by really
Oh,
fast.
right.
My brain turned off for a second because I'm very tired. I did a lot of work today.
Okay, so my predictions of what next episode are gonna be. It's either gonna be the Fall of Haven, the RWBY reunion, or it's gonna be Ilya's feelings are gonna be addressed. Do you guys have any input on it?
My theory about Raven and the possibility of Renal remains the same. I believe the whole Blake and I'm Spartacus gang is gonna show up perfectly on time to pretty much be a practical Deus Ex Machina to save someone.
Did you
I
see?
think it's gonna be a fake out. Of,
Did you see the art thing
what
I
the name-
shared by 1/4 Dork? And it's like.
I think
Yang,
I saw
Ruby,
where
and
it's like they all
Weiss.
come over the hill.
Yeah, and it's Smile playing.
Yeah.
Laughed
It's
so
that. That's how I
much.
feel like it's gonna be pretty much this. I feel like it's gonna be like, you know how they're calling the Crow and them into his office. I feel like Blake, Sun, and they're like, let's go let him know we're ready to fight. And they're gonna come in the office and see like someone being pinned and about to be killed, and Blake's gonna be like,
What if it's
I'm
Yang?
gonna put this gun to your head. What if it's Yang and like you don't even see the door open, you just hear, and next thing you know, you just see like say it's like Tyrion or one of the lackey characters, you don't see them like get knocked off. There's literally just a blade in them. Literally, you just see Gamble Shroud in their body, and you're just like, she straight up killed another man.
See, because, like, okay, so to put it into perspective, the Fall of Beacon spanned over 3 episodes because I'm counting PvP, which was episode 9 of volume 3. I'm counting that as the beginning of the Fall of Beacon.
I do too, and then it had about 2
Yeah,
episodes
3.
of Aftermath.
No, 3 episodes.
Was it 3 episodes
was,
of Aftermath?
Yeah, because
Yeah, you're
episode,
right.
episode 9 was PvP, and that was when Pyrrha ripped apart Penny. Episode 10 was when Cinder is like, oh, we put men in power, like, but men are merely men, blah blah blah, that whole shit, and then they're like, oh, Pyrrha, you don't worry, like, it wasn't just you, like, there's other people pulling the strings here, like that kind of thing. And then episode 11 is the RWBY and Roman fight when Roman dies and Yang gets her arm chopped off. And then
You mean when
episode
Roman's
12,
murdered?
yeah, and then
I'm now
episode
convinced.
12 episode 12 is the Pyrrha and Cinder fight. So
I Yeah, Thunder Fight. That just made me think of like that really awesome fight with like all the students you get to see again, which I hope they bring back like people like Team Indigo, like they came up with all these cool side characters they could totally use again. Coffee.
You're gonna love Team Funky. Bring back Team Carden for Maggie's sake.
Can I appreciate we didn't even we only got 2 members of Team Funky.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna love these 2 members in Team Funky.
Like, we don't even have the entire piece of the puzzle. We just have, we have half of it, and everyone just will receive them. How is he? Did they nerf Genji's Dragon Blade damage?
I have no idea. I don't play Genji.
I just thought I got 2 hit markers on him, and he didn't die. Sorry.
So
yeah.
In terms of like the Fall of Beacon, what the fuck? In terms of the Fall of Beacon, we are exactly where the Fall of Beacon is about to start.
And I stand by my theory. I think Haven's gonna be they're gonna pull a duality here, where it's gonna be the exact opposite, where shit's still gonna go wrong. Someone's gonna die. This is basic show writing material.
Leo's dying.
Leo's definitely dying, but I think it's gonna be someone that's more impactful that we've come to love.
If it's Crow, I'm
like obviously a lot of Faunus are gonna die, both on the side of White Fang and Menagerie.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna have a more a character we actually come to care about die. This is going off basic show writing ideas. And
I think it's gonna be Crow.
Who?
Crow. I really hope it's not, but like
I really like Crow too, so I hope it's not. I still think Ilya has a lot of death flags on her, so I think that might be. I feel like Adam might kill her because now Blake cares about her.
That was another
B,
thing
because it's like you're a traitor just like her, and she cares about you. It's time for you to die, and then it's gonna, and any fear that she has of Adam's gonna go away when she sees Ilya die. Like, I think she'll see it happen, and she's gonna just be sick of Adam to the point where it's like, I'm not gonna just defend myself from you. No, I am going. You're gonna take everything I love. I'm gonna take your fucking life.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of feel like that's kind of the way it's gonna go. Because we talked about this last stream. She has death flags all over the place.
Yeah.
She's waving them like a banner.
See, because the thing is, like, I feel like Blake will need to bring up what Adam said to her, to Ilya. Because Ilya now falls under the category of, one, she's a traitor to the White Fang, and two, like, Adam especially, two, Ilya told Blake explicitly that she is romantically attracted to her, and Blake, you know, cares a lot about Ilya. Like, she's probably one of her best friends, and, you know, cares about her a lot. So I feel like, you know, she's gonna need to kind of tell her, like, hey, see the death flags you already have? Yeah, we'll square them because Adam said this and then did this to my partner after trying to save me.
With every death
Yeah,
comes
I see what you're saying there, because it's like, I don't know why she didn't open that with the whole trying to get people against the White Fang thing. Like, she could have easily said, I'm a survivor of the fall of Beacon, I was there, Adam was there, and so were the White Fang. He literally stabbed me in the stomach multiple times. Like, show scars. It won't. And then be like, also, if you go to Beacon, you'll find a decaying arm somewhere, because guess what? He fucking slaughtered my friend's arm trying to kill her to prove a point to me. Like, I don't know why she didn't do that, because if she brought out the atrocities he did, they might, you know, maybe get a few signatures.
Because the thing is, see, I don't understand why she didn't say the speech that she was meant to say when Elia interrupted her the first time.
Yeah, like, I didn't get why she stopped as well.
Yeah. But, so, I guess we've kind of touched on everything.
I was gonna say, we've touched on everything, and we're almost 2 hours.
Yeah, so I just want to make...
We've done predictions.
Yeah, I just want to make, like, a final note is... because I've seen people ship Elia with Sun, and this is kind of coming back to the fact, like, the thing we were talking about earlier, about representation, where it's like, you know, I'm all for bisexual representation, and I pray for bi Blake, and I pray for bi Yang, or whatever, but, like, Elia is the first character in the show that has explicitly said to another female, I wanted you to look at me the way you looked at him. So... I feel like this is the first kind of like explicit lesbian representation where it's not a psychopath, it's not, she's not evil, she was misguided, like there's a difference. She's not a psycho, she's not creepy, do you know what I mean? She is a broken girl that needs help, and she's getting that help. She's scared. Yeah, she's scared. She didn't know what else to do, and it had nothing to do with her sexuality either. It had everything to do with the fact that she was a broken girl in a messed up situation, and she thought that the only way to get what she wanted was through violence, but that had nothing to do with her sexuality in the slightest. Do you know what I mean?
It had to do with her race.
Yeah.
Not her sexuality. That was just a byproduct.
Yeah. So... this is the first kind of like explicit lesbian representation, and the fact that, you know, people are saying, oh, she could be bisexual. It's like, yeah, she could, but like you're only discussing the fact she could be bisexual because she's not straight. Like, that's the only time sexuality is ever discussed, is when it's made apparent that they are not straight. And you wouldn't even consider her being bisexual had it not been for the fact that she confessed to Blake.
Yeah.
So, like, you either play the game fairly or not at all.
It's definitely a fair statement. I also feel like the shipping community shouldn't get out of hand with it, just because it's a female character.
Again, I'm all for bisexual representation, and I understand why people would want to push for that, but please don't do it with the only character that has been like explicitly...
our token gay.
Yeah, our token gay. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Like, I pray for bisexual Blake. Like, but like, please don't ship her with Sun because he is the only male character from, you know, the only male main character that she knows.
Her at the moment.
Yeah, so please don't do that, because like, if Sun was attracted to anyone, he would be attracted to Blake. Understandably, right? So like, just because Sun is a male, the only male in the show that we know that she has come into contact with, don't automatically ship her with him out of desperation of, oh, she could be bisexual. Like, it's the same kind of thing where as soon as Pyrrha died, everyone started shipping Jean and RWBY, and I was like, why?
It's been 5 minutes!
Yeah, it's like, are you that desperate to get your dick in? Like, are you that desperate that you're willing to ship, like, an 18-year-old with, like a 17-year-old with a 15-year-old? Because you're that desperate? You know what I saw in RWBY Republic that's worse than that? What?
I saw a legit post about this, and people backing it. It was Oscar and RWBY.
I don't see the problem with that.
Oscar's
like, I honestly...
like 10.
Oscar's 14.
Is he?
Yeah.
Why is he so young? Why is he so tiny then?
Because he's a he's a tiny bean, and puberty's not been nice to him. But like, the RTX.
If Ruby's 1 year older than him, why is he like
Yeah.
a fucking Oompa Loompa? Who did Ozpin choose to go to? Fucking bite-sized snack.
In Canonverse, I'm pretty sure they've all aged a year, so Ruby's 16 now. I can't fucking say this. So Ruby's 16 and he's 14. But like, cause they said this. They said this
but
at
I
the
also just don't
RTX
see it
panel.
because that's the same thing as people shipping her with Ozpin, which was a thing if you
See,
recall.
that's my only gripe with it, is the fact that, you know, Old Man Ozpin's gonna be there, but like, if they dealt with that whole thing,
some of that ass.
yeah, like if they dealt with
Paying
the
a hermit
whole,
paid off.
yeah, if they
Sorry, what?
if they dealt with the whole Ozpin being part of Oscar thing, then I would be totally fine with them being shipped together. But my only gripe with it is the fact that, you know, Ozpin's gonna be there. If Oscar
Ozpin
wants
is
to be
always there, no matter what.
yeah.
Always watching, always waiting.
I must reclaim
Yeah,
my
so
honor.
like, if Oscar wanted some of that RWBY ass, you know, he's kind of gonna need to deal with.
So did Ozpin.
Yeah.
Just
So
yes,
that's
Miss
my-
Rose. Show me that ass.
So that's my only issue with it, is the fact that, you know, Ozpin would also be there.
He's like 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, but real talk before you. The hang. Do you think Ozpin has gotten via side effect?
Glinda.
Glinda. I do have one gripe with Ozpin's character before. It feels very penciled in about his whole being what he is thing, because why didn't we see like a form of multiple personality disorder with his last body?
See,
It
because that was the
wasn't
point
Oz?
that was the thing that I kept saying, was that I think Ozpin takes full control over them. Like, I think.
Kind of
that
like
was the
Alex
thing.
said, that we saw less Oscar.
No, that was Kian
I'm
that
gonna
said
feel
that.
bad for Alex. Was it
It was
Kian that
Kian.
said that? It was
Yeah.
Kian, sorry. I'm gonna feel bad for Alex if that's what happens. Just Oscar's deleted out of the show via Ozpin magic.
Yeah, because that's what I had said, like, when we found out that Ozpin could thingy. I was like, because I kept thinking back to Blake's whole, oh, it's a story about a man with two souls each fighting for control of his own body.
Hi, I'm Richard.
But like, is that whole...
Redeem myself.
So, was that book written by someone that knew Ozpin?
Yeah, that would be interesting. Or was it written by Ozpin?
Yeah.
I did the thinking emoji thing there. No one could see it,
Like,
but yeah.
one of his past lives was an author.
This old fuck possessed me, and I'm not gonna be quiet about it, but I'm also not gonna speak out about it because he has a cane and he's scary.
Yeah.
What if, like, the reason Raven hates him is because she saw him forcefully take someone over because they didn't agree with him? Like, imagine that. How dark would that be?
That would
Because,
be
like,
great,
Raven
but-
is trying to villainize Ozpin, and I feel like there's more to it than he turned me into a bird that I agreed to be.
Yeah, because that just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Through the dragons.
I feel like that's kind of a cover. The whole no more lies thing, I feel like, is all lies.
Yeah. It's like No More Lives, but it's like false lies, kind of. Well, not false lies, but like,
It's half truths.
yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. The stream's going for about 2 hours. I think this would be a good time to call it since
Yeah.
we've covered everything, and we're even. I feel like we should save these types of theories for that other stream you're talking about.
Yeah, okay, so, this has kind of been I think that Ilya, like, please don't take my token gay from me. I feel like that was a,
I love that term, token gay.
I think that's the point to end on. We're all gonna die. Okay, so thank you for watching this stream. I hope you tune in next time when we discuss chapter 11. And if there isn't an episode this week, then it will be our
I
recap
will
of the
not be
last.
defeated so
Should we
easily.
do volume 1 up until now?
That's so much to remember. I don't even remember Volume 1 if I'm honest. There's one
It's
thing
okay,
I
'cause
remember, and
remember
that's
the entirety
me
of
loving
volumes
Roman.
1 up till 3, like, first 3 volumes, I know everything. So,
It's a blur to me. I might need to like do a refresher course. Like I remember like the key points and some funny bits, and then volume two. I honestly only remember the train fight. I won't even like fucking act like I remember other stuff. There was just silence.
I know, I'm sorry. I was trying to take out the fucking hand, so.
Oh, is it the case of you not being able to talk because you're focusing?
Yeah. Okay, so thank
I'm
you
gonna keep
for
the
joining.
stream up just long enough to see my cheeky play the game.
So thank you for joining the stream. I hope you join us next time, whatever it is that we're doing. I hope. Oh, I hope our little eye-opener revelation about Cinder and Salem killing Roman. I
My
hope that
throat
was
hurts from that
interesting.
scream. That was pure agony y'all heard. Honestly, I wish I was one of those 5 people right now.
So, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week. Probably. When is it we normally do these? It's Wednesdays, isn't it? I think that's
Tuesdays and
kind of-
Wednesdays.
yeah, Tuesdays and Wednesdays will be next installment of our Ninjas of Love stream. So,
Day after Christmas, or the
yeah.
day after Christmas.
Yeah. So,
Alright, well.
Thank you for joining us. This is Queen Scrubby signing off, lads.
Bye, everyone.
Bayonara.